Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earle Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earle Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earle Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union.
By Dive Shop and Dive Ventures nationwide. Jim Keras Chevrolet with George Gully. For Memphis Magazine. The Live at the Garden Concert Series. And the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis. And by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, family owned and operated for more than 40 years. And brought to you by High-Low Commercial Services. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel, with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earle Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome to Lansky's, the place everybody loves to shop, and of course the world-famous Peabody Hotel. Got a big show for you lined up today, starting with Missy Marshall, who is with Tennessee Beautiful, and they're getting ready to make it very beautiful by picking up some trash. So welcome to the show, Missy.
Thank you for having me.
In fact, you kind of have a kickoff going on today.
It actually is tomorrow. We're setting up for today. It's the official kickoff of Keep Tennessee Beautiful and month. It's Keep Tennessee Beautiful month, and it's the Keep America Beautiful Greatest American Cleanup in Tennessee.
Which is all kind of ties in with our 250th anniversary of the founding of this great country.
Yes, and that's our theme this year. You know, each year we'll have a theme, whether it's Plant the State Green or Trashercise Across Tennessee. And this year it's America 250. We are asking people to take a pledge. Communities all across Tennessee and America, their mayors, their leaders are taking pledges to help Keep America Beautiful accomplish the goal of picking up 25 billion pieces of trash for America's birthday.
That's a lot of trash.
It is a lot of trash.
But there's a lot of trash out there. It's a big country.
Yes.
You've been on my show before, and we talked about it. When I moved here in '78, Memphis was every year we get the one of the most beautiful cities in the nation award. And then somewhere along the line, it may have been when one of the mayors decided to not use street sweepers anymore. I noticed immediately, because you used to see them on the streets all the time. And all of a sudden, they stopped running, and then all of a sudden, it just started building up. And but the street sweepers are back in use, because I see them all over the county. And I see people picking up on the interstate now. In fact, Rob and Beth live downtown with Sandy at the old Holiday Inn, and right there under the underpass, right before you get to their building, there was always trash accumulating under that railroad bridge.
Yes.
And lately, they've been keeping that clean. And when you start seeing it happen,
yes,
it always makes you want to stop and pick up what you do see, which is kind of what you're asking people to do.
That's exactly what we're asking people to do. The mission of Keep Tennessee Beautiful is to educate and inspire Tennesseans to take action every day to improve and beautify their community environment. And you do it in several ways, whether it's engaging people in a volunteer opportunity like on Friday. This coming Friday, we will partner with Memphis City Beautiful, and they're hosting a cleanup at Martin Luther King Boulevard as the first official cleanup I'll be participating in for Keep Tennessee Beautiful month, and then cleanups all across the state all month. So we're asking people to love their community, to give back, and take a personal responsibility, a sense of responsibility and pride of where you live.
You know, Ron Olson and I talked about doing something where we just go to a bunch of our friends and say, let's pick a section of highway or road and get some of our friends, and we'll say once a month we'll go pick it up. Get a trash bag, and we'll go with those little grippers and pick it up and clean it up, and then get more people to do it. Because it really is our community, and it is a beautiful city. I tell people all the time that in the fall and in the spring, there's not a pretty city in the world than Memphis, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The mayor of Memphis had really, when he got elected, made that a priority. He said, we want people to care about where they live. And I know I've seen him participate in cleanups, going out and leading the way, and trying to lead by example, which is what we ask people to do. It shouldn't, You know, like you said, a community, the way it looks, tells a story.
It does.
It tells a story about the people that live there.
In fact, you go into neighborhoods, and covering news in this city for almost 50 years, I've been to every neighborhood there is. Neighborhoods that all take care of their yards and their houses stay that way. And if somebody moves to the neighborhood that doesn't, they are on them like a cheap suit to get with the program. But you also have some incentives like trash bags for your car, gloves to pick stuff up with.
So, you know, to help us accomplish our mission, and, you know, we do things that we try to provide items that encourage the behavior we're trying to promote.
Sure.
Whether it's picking up trash or planting flowers or trees, doing beautifications, the gloves, the reusable car litter bags.
Which
you
are
hang
great.
those on your headrest in your cars. The reusable bag that you can use at the farmer's market or the grocery store. And like you said, we sometimes forget them, but just keeping some in your car. The Educate and Inspire and Engage, this book is not only an educational tool, a marketing tool, but it's a fundraising tool. And so the proceeds from this book go to a scholarship fund that funds scholarships for kids all across the state that want to go in, not just the environmental field, but just the public service field. And so we use that to help support the scholarship fund.
But it really does start with little kids. You sit there and don't litter. And you teach them from the minute they understand what's going on about throwing things on the floor. You know, you put it in the trash. You don't throw it out the window. And then I see people throw stuff out. I go, what did you do that for? I actually had people tell me that we're taking a job away from somebody if we don't throw stuff out on the street. I said, that's not true. Yes. There is nobody's job to pick up trash. The street sweepers do theirs, but that doesn't leave the curb and the gutter. And
do you know how much the State Department of Transportation spends on addressing littering behavior, littering issues?
A lot, I'm guessing.
$35 million a year. That's money that could go into public safety. It could go into better education, access to health care, and it's preventable.
So just get out, and if somebody wants to help, they want to get involved and pick out a road or a section of road, how do they do that? Do they get in touch with you?
Yes, well, they can start at keeptnbeautiful.org if they want to organize a cleanup, if they want to be part of a cleanup. If they want to adopt a highway, go to nobodytrashestennessee.com, because the Department of Transportation has the litter grant that funds all of this work that we do. It's part of we're what's considered an education arm for the Highway Beautification Office.
You know what you ought to do is get Richard Ransom and a bullhorn and go around going, clean up, clean up. Have him driving up and down the highway.
I got to meet with Joe Birch and Kim Clark last week.
Yeah.
And Joe, he was so excited to tell me that he goes, I actually do this every week. I go out and pick up trash in my area. I'm doing my part. You know, I do it while I exercise. And I said, well, you're a trasherciser. And so you can actually go to keeptnbeautiful.org and become a trasherciser. Register, and we'll send you a grabber and a T-shirt, and just, doing your part to make yourself healthy and your community healthy.
Well, Joe runs still. I look out for my car and go, litter, there's litter over here. But it's all people working together, and that's what you're trying to accomplish.
You know, that a lot of that litter that you're seeing, because he and Kim asked, well, how are we doing? And I said, our state is beautiful. There are times that whether it's through intentional littering or neglectful littering, there are times that it's no secret you'll see all the trash. It's blowing out of the back of trucks.
Yeah.
So the covered load law is a big issue, too.
It is, and you can call people's license in, and the police will contact them and say, you can't do that.
Yes.
And it's your civic duty to help enforce it, because otherwise it doesn't get done.
Yes.
Missy Marshall, thank you for coming in and continue the great work you do and helping make Tennessee and Memphis beautiful.
Thank you, and thank you for helping us spread the mission. So.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break here from our sponsors. And Karl Schledwitz, who's a very successful businessman here in Memphis and a longtime friend, is up next. And he's going to be talking about another big idea he's got. You're going to love this. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union at our new headquarters here in Collierville, Tennessee, off by Hellier Road. We are the proud presenting sponsor of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show and are looking forward to a great 2026 where some of the shows will be hosted from our new headquarters location here in Collierville.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earle Farrell Memphis today, and we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Keras Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25, and I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching Earle and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright.
And I'm his son, Mickey.
And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Dive Ventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Dive Ventures group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis, or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earle Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
I'm on the Orpheum board, too.
And welcome back. That was Karl Schledwitz there, reminding him of what all he's a member of. I'm getting
sorry, I don't have it. What's going on here?
Stand by, we're working on somebody.
Don't get it.
Testing, yes.
Okay.
All right, we're back in business. Thank you, my magician named Rob. Joining us now is Karl Schledwitz, who has been a good friend of mine ever since I moved to Memphis. In fact, I went to a party with you at the Rivermont Holiday Inn almost the first month or so I was here, and everybody who was anybody was at that party, and then we've known each other since then.
If this interview doesn't go well, I'm going to tell them what you did at that party, but go ahead.
Not if I won't tell them what you did. But we've known each other forever. He was an Eagle Scout. I was very big in scouting, and the thing I was most admire you for is you went through a long legal protracted situation. You kept all your friends updated with emails. You said exactly what was going on all through that. You ended up beating it, and then you started a company with a handful of people here in Memphis called Monogram Foods. It's now $1.5 billion a year in sales, and it's every product you can think of you make. That's based right here in Memphis, and you hired. How many people you got working for you now?
Almost 4,000.
Wow, you're edging in on Fred Smith and FedEx.
Well, FedEx is only 200 times larger than us.
well, you're crowning. You're crowning. But you've come up with another brilliant idea, and I'd actually heard about part of the idea. It's the fastest growing sport in the world. It's a racket sport. And is it padel?
Padel. Some people call it paddle. It's spelled P-A-D-E-L, but some people call it paddle, but it's really supposed to be called padel.
You had told me about it. We were at a thing at the Orpheum, which you're on the board with, as you quickly reminded me a minute ago, when you saw Brett Batterson as one of our sponsors. And you were telling me about this, and I had actually heard about it. It really emerged from South America originally, and then throughout Central America, and then really the world. The United States is really the last place to kind of catch on to this. And you had heard about it and immediately got it, and you met some other people. And so I've got a video you put together. I think that'll kind of explain where it went from there, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Okay.
So here's Karl Schledwitz explaining his new venture.
Hello, my name is Karl Schledwitz, and I'm here to introduce you to something extraordinary, Praxis Racket House. We're building Florida's largest indoor climate-controlled racket sports facility, over 140,000 square feet, offering all 5 racket sports under one roof, tennis, padel, pickleball, squash, and table tennis. All courts with the latest technology and lighting. We even have some outdoor courts, including 2 premium tour red clay tennis courts. There's no facility like this in the United States. We're combining premier amenities, a state-of-the-art wellness center and bathhouse, a full-service restaurant and bar, golf and tennis simulators, and even a top-notch business center. And this is all in a location in Miami on I-95 with over 1.1 million people living within 30 minutes. This positions us at the epicenter of South Florida's explosive growth and wealth migration. This is not just another club. This will be one of the largest, most luxurious, and exclusive racket clubs in the country.
And this will be the first one. And
Right.
you're the initial investor. You've invested over $1 million in this project,
Right.
of your own personal money. But now you're looking for other investors to join
Right.
with you. Why did you pick Miami? It was because of the Latin influence?
Well, there was a gentleman that started this vision and had identified the real estate, and my daughter knew him from business school or had connections and introduced me to it. And by the time I got to meet with him, he had been unsuccessful raising the money. And so I spent 6 or 7 months modifying it, upgrading it, working with him, and now we're raising the money. It'll open next April, give or take a month, because it takes so long to do the permitting and stuff. But we have hired all of the contractors, the architects, all the consultants. And yes, I've spent a lot of money. Baker Donaldson's our law firm, and I literally tomorrow get the prospectus where I can legally start taking money. We're raising $35 million for this, and the concept is to take it on the road. We will go to Phoenix, Houston, Dallas. It requires a large city with a lot of money and ideally a Latino contingency, because one of the sports that we have in here is the padel, which right now is mainly Latino, but it's growing.
But so is squash, and squash is a huge
Right.
sport in Miami,
Yeah,
Florida,
right.
and because of the Latin influence. And
Well, and tennis is still growing,
Yeah.
but pickleball grows everywhere. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America, but as you alluded to earlier,
this one beats it.
padel is the fastest growing sport in the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's fascinating. I don't think there's a padel court in Memphis. Nashville just opened 2 padel centers. Seattle's opening its first. In Miami, there's 50.
Wow.
And so it'll come to Memphis. It'll come everywhere because it's such a growing sport.
I know that Memphis had its racket club
Right.
for many years, which we were members of. So many people were. Loved it, miss it today.
Right.
Will it eventually come here? Will it be in your plans?
Probably not, to be candid. This requires going in an area with a lot of density. So, for example, there are 1.1 million people living within 30 minutes of this site. That's more than the Mid-South. And so it's an exclusive, expensive operation that requires membership, so you got to be in a dense area.
I know that in your whole video, which we didn't have time to show all of it, you were showing a tennis club up in the Northeast in Greenwich or someplace.
Yeah.
And they said these people pay an initiation fee of $80,000 to join, and then so much a year.
Right.
And that's only for a club that's only open like 3 or 4 months
Yeah,
a year.
it's actually in Southampton. So
Yes,
the
yeah.
guy that we have operating our court club owns that, and he owns some others in the New England area. He had a home in South Florida, so he loved this concept. So we're bringing him in as the operator. But yes, it costs $80,000 to join, and it's only open 4 months a year, and $20,000 a year in dues. So it's.
But your club will be open year round because it's indoor, outdoor,
Right.
and
We'll be open from 5 in the morning till 12 at night, and so.
you've invested in a number of things over the years. You've raised hundreds of millions of dollars for
Right.
other projects. What was it, the one single thing, because I got that when I talked to you that night at the Orpheum, that when you heard and sat and talked with this person, you got it immediately.
Yeah, well, one of the guys I went to law school with 100 years ago that I still see on occasion lives in Miami, and he had tennis court in his backyard. But like most Miamians, they only play from 5 to 8 in the morning or
so
6
hot.
to 9. Yeah, because they have 200-something days a year where it's 88 degrees average, and then they have 150 days a year that it rains. Now, not continuously,
but steams.
So outdoor sports is so hard. Racket sports is so hard to play, and I through my co-founder, identified that there is very few indoor facilities. Part of it's the cost of the real estate and the density, but and all racket sports are growing exponentially in the U.S., not just pickle, not just padel, but tennis is growing, squash is coming back, table tennis.
Racquetball.
Well, racquetball's dead.
Yeah.
So it would not be.
Explain that to the racquetball people out there.
Yeah, well, there are very few of them, and candidly, the racquetball players that are left, they're dying as well. So that's another reason.
You don't know that, you just got the word.
Right.
It was, but I know when I played, when I was right out of college, Peggy Stedding was one of the best. She's female racquetball national champion. But in playing doubles in that sport, I ended up laying this guy's eyebrow open, and he was on my team, so nobody played with me anymore. But it is a lot of that happened. Right. Explain padel though, because in that sport it's a 360. Is there a roof on?
No. So one, let me back up and tell you why racket sport, as I've learned, is why racquetball is as dying or is on the deathbed. The paddles, the balls have all advanced so much that there's such speed in that small court that you can't have a defensive play. You win on the first point, and so it's lost.
Just serve and win,
serve and win. Padel takes some of the components of that. It's a court about half the size, or in between a pickle and a tennis court, and it's got glass walls all around it, and so you're bouncing the ball off those glass walls, not off the ceiling. There is no ceiling. And you have rallies that last, and it's very athletic. So unlike pickleball, where my sister's, doesn't want to say this, but she's 79, and she plays pickleball every day down in Florida if the weather allows, or in southern Mississippi, I mean. Padel is more of a 20 to 60-year-old max sport because it's so athletic, but it's catching on and will expand, but tennis is really expanding as well.
I was watching some of the video in your presentation, and I saw this guy take his racket, and you think he's going to hit forward. He's hitting back.
Right.
It hits the ball behind him and hits the wall behind him, and then it ricochets and goes toward his opponents.
Right. So it's a very athletic sport.
Have you played it yet?
No. I haven't ever played pickleball.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I just...
but I still have both my Achilles.
Right. And, but... You know, I haven't eaten all the foods I manufactured either.
A wise man knows his limitations.
Right.
Is that correct? Yeah. But it is something
but I
that
have eaten my share of corn dogs.
Yes, you.
So
we all
a
have.
little trivia question.
Okay.
Is, how many corn dogs do you think we make a day? Monogram Foods has one plant in Bristol, Indiana, 2 shifts, highly automated, mini corn dogs, sausage on a stick, corn dogs, traditional. How many do you think we make a day?
Well, let me ask this question first. In Texas, we called them corn dogs. In Memphis, they're pronto pups. Is it the same thing?
Basically, yeah. Okay. Pronto Pups is the name of a guy that has a franchise that just sells at fairs.
But you're selling corn dogs.
Right.
Okay. I grew up eating corn dogs.
Right.
And I would have to say, just Memphis alone, I'd say 500,000 a day.
4 million a day.
Oh, my gosh.
So I just let you know. So that's...
You could have a hot dog marching band. Probably.
Right, 4 million a day. So I went from padel to corn dogs just like that.
Well, you're doing your bit to counteract the effects of the corn dog with the new racket sports.
Yeah.
Well, this is really exciting, and you are planning on going to other cities. Is
Correct.
It kind of one of those things that whoever gets out in front first is the lead?
That's
on that?
what we think. We're first to market. There is not a indoor facility in the country that has all of the racket sports under one roof, and with a club and we're adding a club concept with food and beverage and wellness centers. I've learned more about that too. You know, longevity is what people are chasing. And so we've got saunas, cold plunges, red, infrared, everything, and then coaches about how to live longer.
This sounds exactly like a kind of a situation that I do all the time called a drive-by. I drive by the cold plunge and how you doing?
Right.
But it is the way of the future. You talk to people who live in Utah, very healthy state. People are riding, they're on skateboards, they're skiing, and the countries and parts of the countries that have all that are the healthiest. We got to get Memphis in the South to, get into more health, and so that counteracts all the other stuff we love to eat. So,
well, as long as they don't
stop corn dogs,
I'm all for it.
You haven't forgiven us. You're like the Pope on Friday with us, and we give you special dispensation for corn dogs only.
Absolutely.
How can people get in touch with you or find out more about your project?
Well, my email, KARL, Karl with a K, at southlandcapital.com. And sure, if anybody wanted to learn more about that, and I'd be happy to share it with them.
Well, it sounds good to me. And if you could send us a complimentary case of corn dogs, I'd also be happy with that.
Okay.
Because I won't be eating them, but I have friends that will.
Right. Well, I just saw your wife again, and she has never eaten one. I can tell you that. So,
if it has, it agreed with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Karl Schledwitz, thank you very much for coming in. Congratulations on your new project, and congratulations on your very successful Monogram Foods.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Up next, how's the car business doing with the war in Iran? We'll find out from George Gully. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
He doesn't sweat. He exudes cleanliness. He doesn't wear a hard hat. He wears a halo helmet of hygiene. He doesn't just clean up the mess. He makes it ashamed of itself. He once found a Cheeto from 2003 and gave it a proper burial. His mop water is filtered through the tears of sloppy contractors. He uses Purell the way priests use holy water. His laundry detergent has PTSD. He's banned from construction sites for making everyone else look filthy. His laundry folds itself out of respect. He was voted most likely to disinfect in high school. He showers before, after, and during showers. Even Mr. Clean calls him Sir. He carries wet wipes holstered like pistols. When he sneezes, the room becomes 99.9% pure. He is the cleanest man in the world.
I don't always drink, but when I do, I disinfect the glass first. Stay spotless, my friends.
Mr. Clean, Matt is something else. So what a great spot. Joining me now is George Gully with Jim Keras Chevrolet, and thank you for stopping by. You're looking very dapper today.
Well, thank you.
And in fact, Karl Schledwitz, he tried on one of the jackets. He looked so good, he bought it. So there you are.
Oh, good for him.
Hal goes ka-ching.
There you go.
With everything happened in Iran, what in like the oil prices up and down? I stopped by and saw you last week. You were saying because you bought an electric car back after right after the first year before they ran out of the incentives, and you were saying, I was thinking maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Then the oil prices went up. You said maybe it is a good idea.
I'm pretty lucky today.
And so where is it at today?
Well, it's all over the place, and that's what's the automobile business tends to move in waves, and right now we're dealing with inventory being really a little bit above average. So what does that mean? With too many on the ground, we're going to put them on sale.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see fluctuations in the market as far as the interest rates, and the factories are offering some deals.
I was amazed when I was by last week and saw you had, I think, 4 or 5 Corvettes on the showroom floor.
Yeah, that's almost unheard of.
I've never seen that many Corvettes in the same place before.
No, and they're on sale as well. And there are going to be some changes. As you all are probably all aware, the car market doesn't stand still. We've got to change the product. We've got to try to entice the public to come in with new designs, new electronics, and things of that nature. So right now, the same thing is going to happen with the Corvette, to which there's deals.
And the other thing that amazed me was about a year ago, I went out there and actually sat in one. I said, I don't want to drive one. I just want to see if I can get in one.
Could you get out? Oh, you're here, so we know you did.
Yeah, I did get it eventually. But the whole
we didn't have to pry. I can't get out, so I don't try to get in.
The secret to it is you open the car and then you turn around and you back into it. Put your butt in first, and then you swing your legs in. And the same thing when you get out. You have to swing your legs out and then duck your head and stand up.
Yeah, that's true.
What I also discovered was that it wasn't as expensive as I thought it was. Now a Corvette is about the same thing with a high-end pickup truck or a SUV.
Oh, that's crazy, and you're not far off. You're definitely not far off. And so the median age of our buyer today is almost 70. That's
amazing?
Crazy to think about that car, because you normally think of it as a young person's car, but truly, based on a lot of reasons, it's in 65 to 70 range.
And the reason I know this, because most of my friends are that age, and I'd say, well, why did you get it? They said, because I always wanted one, and I can afford it, because it's going to be the same price if I got a pickup truck or a SUV. And for once in my life, I would like to drive something that is really fun to drive and not just it drives. And they say that's why I'm driving a Corvette.
And typically today, a Corvette owner also has other vehicles, one or two others.
That's his Saturday, Sunday car.
Exactly, exactly.
The used car business right now, pre-owned.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's in flux right now. The prices of used cars have dropped about 2%, 3% in the last 2 months. So what that means, folks, is that the number of vehicles on the ground has increased. Typically in the winter, which is a slower time, is a good time for people to come out and take a look at things. And I've got many, many clients that are calling me right now. Yeah, it's spring. I mean, look outside right now. It's starting to get great weather, and it's a good time to think about it.
Young people, I hear it from other parents. My kids are both in their late 20s, early mid-30s. And they had their driver's license as soon as they could get them. They wanted them. They've always had cars. But I'm hearing more and more parents that are saying their kids don't want to drive. They don't want to own a car. But then their other ones are doing it. They just don't. They don't want to talk or go to the sales place.
In many cities, you see that, and there's a fear factor involved in going to look at a car. We delivered a car yesterday to someone. Well, it's a new car, and it was her Sweet 16 present. But I asked her, do you have your driver's license yet? And she said, well, I get it, Mr. Gully, in another month or two. And I said, well, you might want to make sure you study up on that, because you got a pretty nice toy that's sitting outside right now.
And to think about that at 16, because is that when you can get a driver's license now? 16
it's
to do
16.
driver's license?
Yeah.
I just remember when in Texas growing up, it was 14.
Was it really?
Yes. And I think back to that. That was crazy. Who would let a 14-year-old in a
You
car?
were driving at 14, Earl?
And I
well, we
have
all
been.
played around in driveways and in the cul-de-sacs.
At the ranch, if you had any kind of farm or ranch, you were driving tractors and pickup trucks. And as soon as you could see over the steering wheel to steer, I know I had my daughter steering the pickup truck down at the ranch, and because she couldn't reach the pedals.
Oh, my.
But it is a different kind of thing. Are they more interested in getting, green cars, fuel efficient?
You and I talked a couple of months ago about the new explosion of hybrids that are coming out on the market, and you're going to see more and more of that. There was some resistance by the American public when they felt we were forcing electric cars on them. We meaning the government.
Yeah.
More than the manufacturers. Well, it wasn't me, but it was just what it was. In my case, I took advantage of a deal, and that $7,500 tax credit's off now. So I just said, well, what the heck, I'll do that. But I'm only in it for 3 years, as I explained to you. I'm leasing it. But, right now, these hybrids, we have the Forester Subaru product. We can almost not keep them in stock.
Wow.
People are taking advantage of 50 miles to the gallon.
Because that made much more sense to me, because you're actually charging the car as you're driving along, and so you're not having to look for a place to hook up to in the middle of a trip. You just keep going, and it is 500 miles to a tank of gas.
Well, in that range, absolutely.
Yeah.
And see, in my case, I'm thinking about heading down to the coast in a couple of months. I'll probably have to take my wife's car. Mine can get 325 miles, which is fine around Memphis.
But then you got to stop.
But then we got to make a little pit stop in Birmingham overnight, so to speak.
And how long does it take you if you take it all the way down to the empty?
Oh, I can charge it at the dealership, we have a fast charger, what we call a D3 charger. I can do it in an hour and a half.
But if you're just stopping someplace at one of those...
we could go a little longer. See,
Yeah.
that's the problem with the U.S. or the Southeast right now. The infrastructure is not there to support
Yeah.
the numbers of, or the
Cars
millions of
that are
cars.
out there now.
I mean, you can't pass a gas station. You could pass 5 in a mile.
Yeah.
Well, there may be 20 chargers inside the loop.
Well, I have a friend in Connecticut. He's a big Tesla guy, and
Sure.
he got the home charging, which he says, I get home and I plug it in at night. I get up the next morning. I drive it all day long. He's not going on long road trips, but he did go on a road trip to Pennsylvania to see his in-laws, and he said it got from Connecticut to Pennsylvania in one charge. So it is possible to take trips.
It's coming now. I don't want to. Tesla has a great product, and they offer some extended mileage options as well as an infrastructure that other manufacturers haven't developed yet.
Well, it is exciting, but I've always been, I love American cars. I love muscle cars. And I saw some of the new ones, I saw a new Tahoe the other day that's really good looking.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks
we got
bigger.
a new pickup truck coming next year. People are waiting for that.
Yeah.
Well, Americans still love trucks and SUVs.
And you know what amazed me? I was talking about Pennsylvania. There are more pickup trucks in Pennsylvania than there is in Texas.
There might be.
And Tennessee's not far behind.
No, we're not far
Mississippi.
behind.
I mean, it's a utility vehicle. And if you don't have a pickup truck, you want to make sure somebody in your family does have one.
I had a lady that visited with me yesterday, and she was driving a smaller Buick. And I said, what type of car would you like? And she's middle-aged, and she looked at me and said, I'd like a pickup truck. I said, okay, we can handle it. But
we got some.
But we ended up selling her a mid-sized truck because the larger trucks, in some
Hard to
respects,
get in
are
and out.
overwhelming to
Yeah.
get in and out.
Well, people I was watching during our most recent snow event, and the people in the pickup trucks and four-wheel drive were just zooming past me, and I had front-wheel drive, and I was able to make it around fine throughout it all. But four-wheel drive is a decided advantage, and when you need it, you need it.
Well, absolutely. And that's why the all-wheel drive, we represent Subaru. We have 2 franchises here, or 2 stores, and they're selling like hotcakes, especially after this ice storm we just experienced.
Well, it's nothing like a lesson learned, and that's when we all get a lesson. You say, I ain't going through that again.
No.
But right now, you've got new product coming in.
Sure we do.
This situation in the Middle East is not affecting, because cars
Not
don't
yet.
come
I mean,
from
we're
there.
all keeping our fingers crossed that this thing's going to get resolved. I don't like seeing gas go up 50 cents, 40 cents in a week. No one does. So hopefully that will get in a better position over the next few weeks and get it more moderated, and we'll retreat back to that $3. It's still a lot less than it was 4 years ago, though.
And it's less than California, Chicago,
heck yeah.
and all that. If you're in the market for a Corvette, I know where you can get one.
I'm ready to help them.
And George Gully can take care of you. How can they get in touch with you, George?
Well, you can call me on my cell anytime, or the dealership, 901-491-8343. Or call Earl. He can find me.
I'll sell you a watch, too.
Yeah.
Or a Lansky jacket.
So. There you go.
All right. Kathy, no, I thought she was coming to deliver a hot message.
Okay. We've got
word just in.
Pictures and cameras.
Yeah. George, thank you very much for
having me,
Always
Earl.
good to see you, and we'll see you next time. That is it for us today from Lansky's and the Peabody, and we'll see you next week.